Hi there, my name is Naveria and I welcome you back to the game called Professor Layton vs. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I guess let's start right away from where we left off. The professor is kinda against us now, and I can't wait to figure out what the hell he's trying to do there. Because he's a good guy after all, right? He should be. Remember how the professor was supposed to show up with decisive evidence? Well, nope! He's actually now an Inquisitor. We had Darklow on the ropes. I mean, we totally drop-kicked her argument into space. We just needed a bit more... A bit more... what? But then the professor burst into... saying that he would be able to prove Espella is really the Great Witch. There's no way we can give up now, but what do you do when you're up against someone like the professor? Well, who knows? Let's figure out. I guess we're still playing as Phoenix, right?
Professor? But what are you doing?
Seriously, what the hell you're doing, Layton?
What am I doing, Mr. Wright?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to show up with some decisive evidence and save the day, Professor.
True.
I'm afraid my only concern here is the truth. The truth?
Well, that should be our concern too, actually.
The truth behind the real identity of the Great Witch, Espella Cantabella. If seeking the truth requires us to stand on opposite sides of the courtroom, then so be it. I expect you to defend Miss Cantabella with everything you've got, Mr. Wright.
Huh? That's bizarre, but okay. Guess we'll do that. Court now is now back in session. Are you prepared, High Inquisitor? Wait, she's standing next to that girl? So long as I remain on the witness stand, I am no longer High Inquisitor. Simply Darklow will suffice. Miss Darklow, I'd like to just confirm something. A moment ago, we established that you were in fact present at the bell tower during the time of the incident. That makes a total of 3 people at the scene. It would appear that was the case. However, you managed to stay hidden from 10 different guards with the help of this right here. Did you really need a rope? I mean, they didn't really... I mean, she's an Inquisitor. Even if she came there, they wouldn't even say anything because she's an Inquisitor. The highest one. The robe of invisibility? In other words, there is every reason to be suspicious of your actions tonight. Lady Darklow, while I cannot believe you would deceive us in such a way, I ask that you tell the court what happened at the time of the incident. Very well. Okay. Testimony. What happened tonight? The town square was to be the parade's final stop. I patrolled the perimeter to ensure nothing was amiss. As I passed by the bell tower, a pair of small footprints leading inside caught my eye. I went inside to investigate. I had my own reasons for not allowing any one of those vigilantes to see me. What kind of reasons? I climbed the stairs up the bell tower and saw an intruder inside with their back turned. I proceeded to apprehend them. So you just basically attacked a person? You apprehended the intruder? While I hold the position of High Inquisitor, there are often times when I must partake in various secret tasks unbeknownst to the citizens of Labyrinthia. One of those tasks being ensuring the security of the storyteller. So she's like a personal guard of his, or what? Security? As such, there is nothing odd nor suspicious about my actions tonight. I see. Defender, you may now begin your interrogation. Okay, let's see what's it about. One of her lines were very strange to me. I had my own, like, these reasons. What reasons you had there? And what were the reasons? They relate to protecting the storyteller. It was something I was to carry out at that particular time. Did it perhaps have something to do with what was already decided upon in the story? The storyteller's word is absolute. Therefore, any and all those who make an attempt to alter his will must be dealt with immediately. Huh.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Miss Kira. Witness. Yes. Figures. She really doesn't remember her own name. You seem to be deep in thought about something. Did you remember anything regarding the High Inquisitor's testimony? No. I'm sorry. Nothing in particular. It's just... I'm a little disappointed in myself. Disappointed? I traveled all the way here to Labyrinthia in order to fulfill my mission, but all I managed to do was fail and end up being captured. Regardless of your own failure, Miss Kira, the storyteller did die as was foretold, did he not? Tonight, as the rain came pouring down over the town, I arrived at my designated location. Naturally, the bell tower was surrounded by guards on patrol, 10 to be exact. I was very nervous. She must be talking about the vigilantes. Oh, you don't say. Just relax. You'll be fine so long as you are wearing this robe, I kept telling myself. Little did I know I was wrong. But none of this would have happened if I was just a little bit more careful. What? Enough. I would be thinking more about atoning for your past crimes and less about what could have been if I were you. What? Is there anything wrong with Kira's testimony? Something odd? I don't know. Hold on one second. About your testimony, Miss Kira. You were thinking to yourself that so long as you had your robe on, you would be fine. Yes, that's right, I was. So basically, you were wearing the robe the whole time. You were on the top floor of the bell tower, is that right? Yes. I had it on the entire time. That is, until I was attacked. Then my robe was ripped off by the wind. The wind? Miss Kira, this is the first time we've heard any mention of this information. Is that so? I think I must have just forgotten. Your Honor, perhaps we should update this piece of evidence in the court record. Right you are. Worn by Kira when she was attacked. Didn't we think that Inquisitor was wearing that robe? Now that's contradiction, isn't it? Why are you smiling like that? Didn't we just notice the contradiction there? I had my own reasons for not allowing any of those vigilantes to see me. Means she's telling us she was wearing the robe, right? I'm gonna save here and... let's see. Maybe I'm right. I'm gonna use the hint here, because... why not? No, not here. Climb the stairs. Turn, proceed to apprehend them. Right. She was if Kira was wearing the robe, you wouldn't see her, right?
Objection!
No? Shit. Was it? Oh, I was right. Okay. The music kind of scared me because it didn't disappear right away. So, the person you saw when you entered the bell tower was actually Miss Kira. The only problem with that is that it would have been impossible. What are you talking about, Defender? Miss Kira, should I say the witness, stated that while she was waiting on the upper floor of the tower, she was wearing her invisibility robe. Therefore, there is no way Miss Darklow would have been able to see the witness.
Oh, you're quite right. Anyone wearing this robe becomes invisible.
Right, but there is just one particular group that can see anyone dressed in this robe.
Who is that exactly?
Only residents of the Eldritch Woods are able to see the robe. If you are from the Eldritch Woods, then you'll have absolutely no problem seeing this thing.
Objection!
So, what you're saying, Mr. Wright, is that Miss Darklow here actually hails
From the Eldritch Woods, is that correct?
and that she knew this girl prior to tonight.
That's right, Professor.
What is this?
Oh my god, Judge.
A most impressive display, Mr. Wright. However, there is one detail that you appear to have overlooked.
Something I overlooked?
You say Miss Darklow saw something she should not have been able to see. However, the truth is that there is one other possibility as to what occurred tonight.
Did he just say what I think he said? What do you think? Because I don't know.
It's rather easy to work out. Quite simply, the witness was not wearing the robe in the first place.
But she says she was.
What are you talking about, Inquisitor? This witness has proven her memory of tonight's events to be quite unreliable.
Then we can't trust anything she tells us? That's not right.
I believe that by the time she climbed the bell tower, she had in fact already removed her robe.
What? That makes no sense. Why would she do that? 'Tis as you say, Inquisitor.
As you can see, Defender, your assertion is mere speculation at best. Your little witness here has been lying to the court the entire time. It's as simple as that. Well, you can be lying too, so that's not the answer here.
Objection!
1 second. The witness was quite clear with her testimony. Isn't that right, Miss Kira?
She's not sure herself. I'm not sure.
What?
I mean, my memory is a little fuzzy.
No way! It would appear there is nothing more to be gained from this line of questioning. Your Honor, I suggest we return to the cross-examination. A fine idea, Inquisitor. I'm sorry. Need to move. Well then, Lady Darkglow, will you please continue with your testimony?
As you wish. No matter how you slice it, Kira looks like she's definitely hiding something. If only there was some way of getting her to talk, huh, Nick? No matter what Kira says, Darkglow just stays cool and brushes it off. Yeah, this isn't going to be easy, that's for sure. That's why we really need to set our sights on Darkglow. If we keep doing that, then sooner or later Kira is bound to speak up and say something. Whoa, Nick! That's your most dastardly devious plan yet. Okay, alright. I know there's still a clue or two in this testimony somewhere, and I'm gonna find it. I have some clues to use. I should go back and double check her previous testimony. There have to be some more contradictions. Can't waste my time here figuring out where to press here. Sure.
Hold it!
Those must have been Miss Kira's footsteps from when she snuck into the bell tower, right? Indeed. The ground outside was quite muddy after the rain, so her footprints were easily visible. Right, according to the vigilante's testimony, they thought the footprints looked like foxes, but it turned out they weren't hers. They were absolutely different. That's right. Her footprint would have contained a mark where her stiletto had been. But the footprints I saw at the bell tower contained no heel mark at all. And you stepped inside those footprints on your way up the stairs, so as not to leave your own and risk being detected, correct? Exactly. At that time, my main task was to ensure the safety of the town square. In doing so, it was of the utmost importance that no one knew of my presence there. Had the town's people noticed your presence there, it would undoubtedly have raised some suspicion. Indeed, so naturally, that is why I did not wish to be noticed by the vigilantes. Therefore, it was imperative that I mask any traces of my being there, even if it meant utilizing another's footprints.
I see. A clever tactic worthy of the High Inquisitor herself.
Is there anything off about her testimony just now? Something wrong, of course, even if it's just an option there.
Miss Kira, Darkglow.
I just noticed something in your testimony that's very relevant to the case. The defense requests you amend your testimony. You just can't help letting that ridiculous imagination of yours run wild, can't you? Can you?
The Inquisition has no objections.
Well then, good.
Very well. The witness will amend her testimony then.
There was no heel on the footprints, so as I ascended the stairs, I was careful to match my footprints to them as far as possible. Probably have to present something here. I don't know about her footprints, but I think she's weird. I'm not sure if I should be present in anything here. Yeah, I am. My guess is this then.
Objection!
What I have here is a sketch of the footprints left at the bell tower. So tell me, Miss Darklow, are these your footprints in this sketch?
It would appear so.
I would never mean to offend the hard work of Labyrinthia's vigilantes, but tonight's task was mine and mine alone. Okay, when you put it that way, I can't help but notice a contradiction.
What did you say?
Miss Darklow, you stated the following. When you climbed the stairs, the footprints had no heel, so you tried to match your footprints to them as far as possible. However, if you look at the actual footprints that were left behind, you can clearly see that not only is the heel present, but so is the entire foot. If you were trying so hard to step on the footprints already there, then the footprints in this sketch shouldn't have heel marks. I'm not sure that's true. But anyway.
That is very true. Although I do not think such a small detail is of much importance in the long run.
I agree, it's a small detail, Your Honor, but that's not all I noticed. There was something very telling about Miss Darklow's testimony.
Telling, you say?
She stated that she stepped onto the footprints that were already at the scene in order to disguise her presence. Now there's something strange there. Specifically, why were these footprints left at the crime scene in the first place?
Objection.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Professor?
Tell me, can you show the court why this seemingly minor detail is odd?
I can't exactly do that at the moment.
Who can say whether or not these footprints are indeed worthy of concern? And if it is an issue, then what exactly are the implications? That, above all, is what you must answer, Mr. Wright. I do not believe you can assert that this is a blatant contradiction at this time.
There he goes again, flexing that amazing brain of his.
Huh? That's enough.
Miss Kira?
Lady Darklow, how could you? How could you simply abandon us? How could you betray us?
Betray? Witness, what is the meaning of this?
Lady Darklow, you are the mistress of the Eldritch Woods. You are the one responsible for handing us our tasks.
What?
I love judges in these games. This wretched girl is nothing more than a detestable spawn of magic. Her words cannot be taken seriously. People of Labyrinthia, I ask you, what am I if not a loyal daughter of this fair town?
No, you're lying, Lady Darklow. When I was waiting up there at the top of the bell tower, I was most certainly wearing that robe. Lady Darklow, you were also wearing a similar robe, were you not? Don't you remember?
What nonsense. I haven't a clue what you're babbling about. I simply managed to sneak right by those makeshift guards. It was not the most demanding of tasks for someone like me.
Yes, you're right. That would be true. If you had been sneaking around by yourself.
By yourself? Witness?
Enough. Listen to me and listen well.
Continue as you are, and I will see to it that this court be the last place in which you ever set foot.
It matters not. The end is already nigh. After the events of tonight, I shouldn't even be here right now.
Miss Kira, you're saying that Miss Darklow was not by herself at the time of the incident tonight?
That's right.
Huh? She brought her there. I knew that. That's how she ended up. Isabella ended up there.
Lady Darklow was wearing the invisibility robe, and underneath that robe was a young girl passed out on her back.
What? A girl? Could that be?
Yes. It was the very same girl imprisoned inside that cage up there.
You mean... Isabella Cantabella? So the accused was carried up the bell tower?
My lord, there is nothing left for me to say. 'Tis the world of the High Inquisitor versus that of a witch. Tell me, who would you sooner believe?
Objection.
Miss Darklow, you of all people should be aware that this isn't a matter of believing or not believing. I'm afraid those are words that carry no meaning here. The only thing that carries any meaning here within the courtroom is evidence. Don't you agree, Mr. Wright?
Yes, absolutely, Professor. Well now, things are beginning to heat up a little, are they not? Fine, tell me, Defender, have you the means to prove this assertion? Do you actually think you can prove that I, the High Inquisitor of Labyrinthia, carried the accused into the bell tower? I don't know. From the looks of it, Miss Kira was supposed to keep quiet about Darklow's little secret. But she couldn't deal with all the Darklow's denials and finally found the guts to chime in. I can't let Kira's efforts to go to waste. I don't care what stands in my way. I'm going to find the truth. Your Honor, the defense wishes to present evidence proving that Miss Darklow did, in fact, carry my client up the tower. Really? I need to save because I have no idea what kind of evidence is that. Maybe I should... No, I can't use hint.
Very well, Defender. You may present your evidence.
Those sexy legs, though.
Show us the evidence that proves Lady Darklow carried the accused up the bell tower.
I don't know, footprints probably don't really show anything. I don't know. I'm gonna use hint. I have no idea what item that might be. Okay, it's one of these three. Could it be footprints?
Take that!
Okay. There was something in your testimony just now that I'm not buying. And that's the footprints that were left at the bell tower. Did I not just finish admitting that those were my footprints? Miss Darklow, you stated the following. There was no heel on the footprints. So as I ascended the stairs, I was careful to match my footsteps to them as far as possible. However, the reality is
The footprints pictured in the sketch actually do contain a hill. That means something must have prevented you from being able to tiptoe along the footprints that were already there.
Prevented? Huh? You mean...
She was carrying something heavy. That's right, Your Honor. Miss Darklow, when you climbed up the bell tower tonight, you must have been carrying Miss Cantabella on your back, is that correct? If you remember, it rained quite heavily tonight. That means the stairs must have been quite slippery. With your 2 hands occupied carrying my client, there would be no safe way for you to tiptoe up the stairs without falling. That right there is the truth behind the footprints on the staircase. Take that.
Lady Darklow, you...
She has nothing to say, huh? Fine. I admit it. Huh? It is as you say. I donned the rope and I made my way up the tower. But I was not alone. I carried both Espella Cantabella and her little friend up the tower with me. Friend? The cat, you mean? Little friend? That black-furred creature of hers. The thing is nary ever a second from her side. Oh, she must mean Eve. That when I arrived at the top of the tower, I saw this girl already there and called out to her. I was very shocked to see the mistress show up in person like that. The girl's presence was an inconvenience, so I immediately put her to sleep. Believe it or not, it's just like you said, Defender. I used what remained of Belduke's medicine to put the girl out of the picture. And that's when Miss Kira put up a fight and pulled this pendant right off your neck, correct? That's right.
I cannot fathom this. That would mean this pendant actually belongs to you, Lady Darklow?
I thought we actually found it out that before. Did we not? I just have one question, Miss Darklow. Why? Why take Espella up the bell tower? Why render her unconscious? And why go through the trouble of sneaking past the guards? Well, so people think that she killed her father when it wasn't her. What exactly was your aim in all of this? Frame her. I am in no way obliged to answer that question, Defender. What? What makes you say that? Simple. None of this has any relevance to the case at hand. That is why.
Objection!
What the fuck are you saying? Miss Darklow, you rendered the witness unconscious and locked her up at the top of the bell tower. I'd say that is more than a little relevant.
Objection!
What are you doing?
Your Honor, if I may.
The Inquisition believes the defense's question to be irrelevant to the current case. What? What are you doing? It would seem the defense has forgotten a very important point, namely the point of this, Mr. Wright. Huh? The aim of this trial is to find the identity of Great Witch Bezella. Whether or not Miss Darklow locked the witness at the top of the bell tower is hardly relevant to the purpose of this trial. No, it is! No, it fucking is! It looks like she framed her. She made it look like Espella is the killer when Espella was even unconscious all this time. Even when the guards found her, she was still quite not in her sense. How is that not relevant? Seriously. But there is one thing that is very clear. Neither Miss Darklow nor this witness could possibly be Bezella. What? If either one of the two were Bezella, then there would be no need for them to have used this rope of invisibility. They cannot use any magic, therefore it is inconceivable that either of them could be the Great Witch. A rather straightforward argument, if there ever was one. At the time of the incident, there were 3 people present. Of those 3, 2 used the rope of invisibility to vanish from sight, leaving only one person, indeed, Miss Cantabella. With this in mind, the larger question is, who is Bezella? Is that not obvious? The accused, Spella Cantabella, is the only possible answer. Besides, the accused's voice was heard by all the townspeople chanting the spell Grand Verm.
Objection!
Not so fast. I happen to think these witnesses are extremely relevant to this trial. Did you forget about Miss Kira? She supposedly took a one-way trip into that pit of fire over there. And yet, here she is, in one piece, testifying that she returned in order to kill the ruler of Labyrinthia, the storyteller. Then there's Miss Darklow, who rendered the defendant unconscious and proceeded to transport her up the bell tower. I'd say there's more than enough reason to investigate who these two really are. Only to discover that they are not, in fact, the Great Witch Bezella. I'm saying there is a possibility that these two are somehow related to Bezella. The court will now announce its thoughts on the matter. I must say that Inquisitor Layton has stated certainly... what Inquisitor Layton has stated certainly does ring true. What? However, Lady Darklow, I have one question I must ask you. What exactly were you hoping to accomplish here tonight? I assure you, 'twas not my intent to deceive the good citizens of Labyrinthia. However, I must now reveal the truth to you all. You don't think Lady Darklow is in league with the witches, do you? She can't be. She was the one that saw to that other witch's demise. Lady Darklow, are you saying that you are... That's right, my lord. I am a shade. A shade? A shade. Lady Darklow, will you please tell the court exactly what you mean when you say shade? Yes, of course. I grow weary of standing behind this bench. I will tell you all I can. What the heck is she trying to pull? Why testify about something that could potentially undermine your credibility? We'll see that, I guess. Shades live outside the realm of those who dwell within Labyrinthia. To them, I am known as the Great Witch. Those that are put to the flames in the witch trials become shades, who live their lives in the woods. We exist to carry out tasks given to us by our mistress, the Great Witch herself. I am not a witch, nor am I a wandering spirit. You are not a witch, though you were trialed as one, and you were cast to the flames by this exact woman there. So, I don't understand why you're following her orders.
What on earth? High Inquisitor Darklow, do you mean to say that not only are you a witch, but that you are the Great Witch?
Unbelievable. Lady Darklow is the Great Witch. The Great Witch? Doesn't that mean she's Bezella? That's right. Lady Darklow is Bezella. I do hope you have not forgotten what we established only moments ago. It is not possible for Miss Darklow to be Bezella.
But Inquisitor Layton, surely the testimony just now proves it.
I'm afraid that in the heat of such revelation, you have all misheard the information. 'Tis pointless. This is the extent of what the people of this town will believe.
I believe the truth will become clear during our cross-examination. Don't you agree, Miss Wright? Mr. Wright.
Sorry, Phoenix, I didn't want to do that.
Defender, you may begin your interrogation.
Cross-examination. Let's not waste our time and use the hint. Oh, right away. Okay. Great Witch. Yes, that's right. However, I'm not Bezella. The mistress to those who dwell in the Eldritch Woods is dubbed the Great Witch. Even if I wanted to be Bezella, I couldn't, as the ever so charming Inquisitor stated earlier, I cannot use magic.
Miss Darklow, I have one question. What do you mean by leave outside the realm?
I mean just that, Inquisitor. We truly do live in a realm separate from this town. Now, surely one as intelligent as yourself has worked out the answer by now, no?
Perhaps. That remains to be seen, Miss Darklow.
Regardless, 'tis something we cannot discuss with anyone, but it is something that the defense should be able to prove. That almost sounds like the challenge. By the way, Miss Darklow, since you are not actually a witch, why do you continue to be called that? To answer that, I must first discuss the true identity of the Shades.
Hold it!
Press, I guess. So you're saying that the Kira here right now is a shade version of the Kira from before? Virgin? Wait, it's not really Kira? Indeed, Defender. The girl has no recollection of her life prior to living in those woods.
But what matter of witchery is this? Why? This girl, Kira, the flower seller, was cast straight to the flames before our very eyes.
That's right, Your Honor. But as you can see, she didn't die. You see, there is actually a trick to the incineration device in the witch's cord.
A trick?
Once the verdict has been delivered, the court attendants move the steel cage into the position, after which it seals shut. Then, the cage is dropped down into a pit of fire. The bottom of the cage then opens, allowing the witch inside to escape unharmed into an underground passage.
If what you're saying is true, Defender, then what of this town's witch purgant history? What has been the purpose of all of this?
I'm funny that even Judge doesn't know about that. You and the knights have indeed been ridding Labyrinthia of witches. However, nary is a single life has been taken in the process. That is the reality. That's actually good, right?
But you cannot truly expect me to believe such a ridiculous notion.
Your Honor, it's true! Who screamed it? Take a look. Take a good hard look. It doesn't get any more alive than this. Maya.
Ah, it's you!
I am a? Almost, man. Well, it's actually Maya Fey. Your forgetfulness. What the heck are you doing? Everyone's gonna recognize you. Yeah, but seeing is believing, Nick. Now they have to believe you. True. Do you see? Are you satisfied? All those found guilty in the witch trials lose their names, magic, and memory. Wait. Huh. But wait a second. What do you mean memory? Maya, for example, do remember stuff, right? They are then sent to spend their lives as shades in the Eldritch Woods. And the mistress of those shades is the Great Witch. As you can see, this girl too has become a shade.
I have no more words to express my utter disbelief in this situation.
That's enough. Shall we return to the testimony? Why do I have the feeling things are going to get a lot worse? Please, no. Don't. We exist to carry out tasks.
Hold it!
Are we supposed to press on everything? These tasks you mentioned, were you acting on them this evening? Yes. I was told to come here and become Bezella.
Wait just a moment, witness. Did you just say become Bezella?
My, how absolutely dreadful. Why would anyone be given such a terrible task? Where have these shades come from? Eldritch Woods.
Order! Order!
I'm sorry. I don't know why I was given such a task. All I can do is follow the orders I am given. If I can do that, then I can return.
What do you mean you can return?
Such is the nature of the shades. Neither human nor witch. Theirs is an existence spanned in the shadows. Each of the shades is given specific tasks. Then, upon successfully completing such tasks, they are allowed to return to Labyrinthia as brand new people.
What do you mean? How?
Everyone would recognize them, no?
But Lady Darkglow, how can they return as brand new citizens? When we already know who they were. For instance, we all recognize the former flower seller standing before us.
Now that, my lord, remains a secret. Are they like stealing people's faces or something? But a secret you will come to understand sooner rather than later. Why not just tell us the answer?
Simply baffling.
The one who gives us our tasks is the Great Witch. That would be you, Lady Darkglow. Magnificent one.
Well, this explanation is wrought with much I cannot comprehend. I request the witness added to their testimony.
Okay.
God, that's a lot of press in there.
So, about these tasks, can you give us any other examples?
A shade's tasks must never be discussed with others, no matter what.
Interesting. I did hear quite a few shades actually mention their tasks, so that's strange. She says that even though she just finished telling us all about her secret task. True. Incidentally, do you perhaps remember when you arrived back in town to carry out your orders?
Well, not really. My memory is still a little fuzzy.
Say, didn't Kira only just recently become one of those shades thingies?
Still, I failed in my task tonight.
Come to think of it, when Luke and I had our little run-in with Kira, I remember being blown clear across the marketplace. Wow. But I never saw any explosives or gunpowder.
Maybe Kira was given the task of blowing you to smithereens, Snake. Smithereens.
And we are done. Getting back to this testimony. I'm sure there's something here that just doesn't add up. Something that Kira says? I'm not a witch.
Hold it!
You really don't have any recollection of your old flower-selling self, do you?
I don't.
When a witch becomes a shade, they lose all memory of their past life. They lose their memories? But why? And yet you still have some grasp of the concept of magic, do you not, witness? Let me spell it out for you. Magic does not exist in Eldritch Woods.
Oh, but there are actually lots of things back in the forest that I have not seen in this town.
There are things there you haven't seen here?
Like really huge machines, that sort of thing. There's one that spits out fire with such amazing speed, and then it expels this huge plummies of grey smoke.
A machine that spits fire? Never have I heard of such a thing. It probably could be our dragon we saw, Are you certain that these machines of which you speak are not simply magic?
You know, now that you mention it, I don't think anyone from this town can actually see those of us from the forest.
They can see you? Could it be something like that rope? I don't get it. It's so confusing right now. How can such a thing even be possible without magic?
Objection.
Miss Darklow, if I may interrupt for just a moment.
What is it, Inquisitor Layton?
Through your testimony just now, we have all come to understand the process of how one becomes a shade. However, I was hoping you could perhaps elaborate on one additional point. Namely, what exactly is the purpose behind the shades?
Yeah. If you wish to know our purpose, there are certain other things you must first understand. Once you've done that, the answer should be quite clear. Isn't that right, Defender?
What? Why she asks me? The purpose behind the shades?
Rest assured you will not get the answer from me. As the saying goes, the witch is in your court, Defender.
Sounds like Darklow's challenging me to figure this out. Challenge accepted,
I guess. There is but one true purpose for the shades that dwell within the Eldritch. Guess I'll have to use next present. Interesting. Let's see. One true purpose for the shades. Huh? Grand Grimoire? Huh. Seems like maybe I don't have... Maybe I don't have to show the specific page. I don't see like how this is actually connected to anything, but okay.
Objection!
Something that doesn't exist. I have a feeling no one is going to like the answer I'm going to give. And it will probably end up shaking this town to its core. But I've got to tell them. The truth has to come out. Since I arrived here on Labyrinthia, there has been no shortage of really strange events. Ignace, Demir, Goldor, and now Granworm. The mere command of magic is in itself a crime, is it not? In this town, witches are arrested and made to participate in witch trials. They are then sentenced to death by fire. But none of those witches actually died. That supposed death by fire wasn't real. And neither is magic. It doesn't really exist.
What are you saying, Defender?
The Eldritch Woods apparently contain some rather large machines unlike anything that exists within Labyrinthia. Machines that emit fire and produce large plumes of smoke. To top it all off, the citizens of Labyrinthia are not able to see said machines.
It sounds like nothing more than magic.
Yes, that's exactly it, Your Honor. Miss Darklow. Magic doesn't really exist in this town. That's the answer, isn't it?
Magic does not... What another nonsense!
It seems we have finally arrived at the stunning conclusion. The secret behind Labyrinthia.
What?
Stupid judge.
Order! Order, I say! What is the meaning of this?
It means that all the magic you've seen in this town was nothing more than the illusion created and put into motion by the shades.
But Defender, the witches, we have clearly seen them use magic.
Apparently, no.
Let us take a moment to think carefully about the systems employed in by the shades. Systems?
What is essential in order for a witch to use magic? The witch must possess a Telia Magica, and must say an incantation in order to cast a spell.
And the spell able to be cast are determined by the scepter's magic gems. Now, what do you think is the purpose of placing such requirements on the use of magic? What do you mean, purpose?
These requirements are not there to allow the user to cast magic. Rather, the reality is they are there to inform the shades of who should be using magic. It is possible that witches were always being closely observed by shades. That's why they
these robes to appear hidden until they were needed to create magic. Create? Indeed. There are all kinds of spells within this tome. It would be quite troublesome if they were simply allowed to use any spell at will. Yeah, it would make the Shade's job that much more difficult for sure. Precisely so. That is why it was imperative that a certain restriction be placed on the use of magic. You're referring to the Talia Magica, right, Professor? Of course, no wonder the scepter could contain only 2 magic gems. Then there's the incantation. What would happen if a witch could simply whisper the incantation quietly to herself or not even say it at all? Boy, that'd be so cool. I'd be casting spells all day long and no one would ever see it coming. Maya, we spent an entire trial proving that you weren't a witch, remember? If the witch didn't give some sort of signal, then there would be no way for Shades to know when to cast the spell. Huh. Ah. Okay, but didn't witches know about shades, that they were shades? And how witches knew they were witches? Shades just from the beginning? Like, when the person is born, they decide that this one is gonna be the witch. And they always go for, making her spells a reality. The incantation were a way of telling the Shades when the witch was ready to use magic. What on earth? Never did I think these requirements could have such a purpose. Now you do. Now let's think back to the previous events leading up to today that have involved magic. Our first encounter with magic was the use of spell Ignace a few nights ago. A spell like this was nothing more than a flame spewed from a machine being used by the Shades. Then that means Demir? A spell that makes caster disappear. No doubt about it. It would have been this robe. Next is the incident with Goldor, the spell that transmuted me into a gold statue. While I understand this may sound a bit absurd, I can only surmise that the Shades created a gold statue in my image, took me and left it in my place the instant the incantation was uttered. Professor, it's no more absurd than anything else that's happened so far. True. We can therefore conclude that all of the magic in Labyrinthia was created in a similar way. What do you say to that, Miss Darklow? I'd expect nothing less from you, Inquisitor Layton. At any given time, there were between 5 and 10 witches in town. All of the witches were accompanied by Shades at all times. It was easier than you would think. You see, the Shades living in the Eldritch Woods total in the hundreds. It was simply a matter of having each of the Shades operate in shifts in order to watch over each of the witches within the town. Can you imagine it? You can't even have your personal life. 10 people always look for you. I must say, Lady Darklow, that is quite a number of Shades. It was not only those who fell victim to the flames that were turned into Shades, but their victims too were made permanent residents of the Eldritch Woods. Victims? Then those 2 shady thieves from before were turned into Shades? Apparently, huh? Okay, that's what she meant by victims. Ah, yes. You mean robes and mugs. Despite their dubious appearance, those two were a couple of my best shades. Shady thieves turned into shades. This stuff writes itself. I cannot believe that what I have heard. Okay. What does this leave us with? There's no witches at all? However, there's still one thing I do not understand just yet. And what would that be? As has just been explained, we have established that there is no possibility of magic being real. But replacing me with a gold statue to give the illusion of transmutation, for example, well, it sounds simple enough. I myself, and presumably also Miss Fey, have no recollection of this replacement actually taking place. Hey, that's right! The professor got all blingy before I could even bat an eye. It begs the question, how and when was the statue created, let alone used to replace me? That is true. The same goes for Godor. It's supposed to create a portal between two green-colored walls. Perhaps that is exactly why the spell can only work on green walls, Mr. Wright. Still, it'd be impossible for the shades to get those portals ready so quickly. I agree. If we take a moment to think, we can see that all of these spells have one strange thing in common. And which is that? Yes, indeed. Almost as if some time between the start and end of the incident was unaccounted for. Furthermore, any memory I might have had regarding the incident seems to have simply disappeared in the process. I've got it, Nick! It's just like what happened to Kira. She's got absolutely no memory of her life in Labyrinthia before the trial, right? Yes. I do not remember this Kira you speak of. And, oh yeah, when you really think about it, doesn't it seem super weird how the shades are able to return to town if they complete their tasks? You're right, Maya. I mean, the townsfolk are bound to remember some things about them, right? Like how Miss Kira here threw a major hissy fit in court and was barbecued for being a witch. Eloquently put, Mr. Wright, hence we cannot yet conclude that this entire illusion was primarily accomplished through the use of machinery. Simply put, there must have been some way of affecting the memories of all those within the confines of this town. Missing time and lost memories. Now that is interesting, Inquisitor. You are correct. There is, in fact, a secret that lies within the depths of the Eldritch Woods. Something that the people of this town cannot see. Something that can rob people of their time and memories. 'Tis the very thing that connects all of what you have heard tonight. 'Tis a secret of monumental proportions. And let me guess. 'Tis a secret that cannot be revealed by the mistress of the Eldritch Woods. Is that right? Yes. An excellent deduction, Defender. Great. Awesome. Witches' souls wander astray within the Eldritch Woods. Until tonight I thought this nothing but a mere fairy tale told to children. What do you mean? If you cast witches into fire, how did you think it was a fairy tale? But it has become clear that a seemingly large organization lies within that forest.
No. The Witch's Court is the border between this world and the other world. Then, that means, in this world, your Labyrinthia's High Inquisitor will also be a mistress to the Shades in the other world, otherwise known as the Great Witch. Okay, what is this all leading us to? May I intervene for just a moment, Mr. Wright? Sure. In all honesty, there is still something that sticks out as a little odd, particularly in Miss Darklow's previous testimony. Did you say the previous testimony? I'd already pushed that out of my head. There was one vital truth that we managed to take away from that testimony. You mean that magic does not truly exist in Labyrinthia? Indeed. Quite the vital, albeit shocking, truth. Sorry, I skipped it? Oh no. There is one more truth hidden within that same testimony. Huh? There's something else in that testimony? I must have checked the court record more times than I can count, but I didn't find a single other contradiction. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Wright? When there is no evidence left, we have but one more weapon at our disposal with which to uncover the truth. Oh, hey! I've got it, Nick! Remember, in a witch trial you can cross-examine two witnesses at the same time. Hey, that's right, I completely forgot. What do you mean, there's two witnesses in the stand? Being able to have a look at two testimonies side by side is bound to turn up a contradiction somewhere. And that contradiction should provide us with a much-needed clue. I'm not entirely sure where the professor is going with this, but I believe in his judgment. Besides, if we are going to blow this case wide open, it's got to be worth a shot.
Well, very well. We will now take a closer look at Lady Darklow's previous testimony.
This is it. Miss Darklow's previous testimony.
There is a glaring contradiction between this piece of testimony and the others. Ready yourself, Mr. Wright.
Fuck, I can't even... Can't? I couldn't save. She assigned to our tasks. She was the Great Witch. I'm not a witch. Question?
Objection.
Please let it be the right thing to do. Music stopped, so it should be the right thing. Your Honor, there's obviously a huge discrepancy between these two pieces of testimony. Which ones? Miss Darklow stated that she is known as the Great Witch. However, according to Miss Kira's testimony, Miss Darklow was her venerable mistress, the Great Witch. That is correct. She was the Great Witch. Note Miss Kira's use of the past tense. Huh. Past tense?
I'm afraid my grammar is not quite what it used to be. May I ask what you mean? Are you stupid?
It's simple. Miss Darklow was mistress to the Shades, or as they also called her, the Great Witch. Therefore, she is no longer the Great Witch.
She is not the Great Witch? Witness, is this true?
Huh? It is as you have heard, my lord. I relinquished my position as Great Witch in order to fulfill the objective of this task.
What would be that objective be again?
That would be the assassination of the storyteller, Your Honor. Witness, at the beginning of this trial you stated that you came to town in order to complete this your task, didn't you? What's more, you said that you were going to summon the fire dragon to do it. Now, this task, it wasn't Miss Darklow here that gave it to you, was it?
No, it wasn't.
So then, the most pressing question is, who was it that gave you that task?
No. Oh, baby, I know. Wait. Can you wait for me to finish this one? I'm sorry.
Okay. No, but don't touch the mic. God. Who told you to come to Labyrinthia and assassinate the storyteller?
Was it Espella?
I cannot tell you, no matter what. Alright, so Darklow isn't the Great Witch anymore. Which must mean the mastermind behind this entire thing is... It would seem the defense has worked it out as well. No, I didn't. Mr. Wright, you know who really gave Miss Kira her task tonight, do you not?
The Great Witch Bezella, but I have no idea who that is.
Better save the game.
Defender, I ask that you enlighten the court. Show us who really gave this witness her task to assassinate the storyteller.
The cat. Storyteller. Espella. I know it's Espella. It could be Kira herself, by the way. I need a hint. It's not Espella. It's a cat! Espella's pet cat. Was with her at all at the time of the incident. Why Eve was there? It could be the storyteller himself. I don't know. Cat? Kira? Storyteller? Don't know. I don't know. Kira.
Take that!
No, I was wrong. Oh no. I'm gonna reload my game once we figure it out because I don't want to lose my life. So it was not Kira. Okay. Isn't that the cat? We have two options left. Cat or the storyteller himself. Cat is crazy, but...
Take that!
No. Yeah. No, okay, I got it. Fuck this. Close. Let's reload it. Good thing I saved right before making a decision. I also get to... Wait, what? No, I didn't save just before? Or the save just works as stupidly as in this game sometimes. Okay. I'm pretty sure I saved just before telling them who that is.
It's storyteller, apparently.
Take that!
The storyteller?
We're talking about someone with the authority and power to replace the Great Witch. Someone who calls the shots. I cannot think of anyone else that meets those criteria except for the storyteller himself.
Preposterous? Then what that would mean?
Exactly, Your Honor. It means that the storyteller gave this final task to Kira himself. He was, in short, responsible for his own assassination.
What? Order in the court. But for what purpose? Why would he plan his own assassination?
That I cannot say, Your Honor. However, the final chapter of the story does tell of his inevitable death. While he assigned his task to Kira himself, it is perfectly natural that he would do so. However, what is not natural is your behavior tonight, Miss Darklow.
What is unnatural about the High Inquisitor behavior?
You were once the head of all the shades, and yet tonight you tried to interfere with the storyteller's plan. You rendered Miss Kira unconscious and locked her away in the belfry of the bell tower. That to me seems like the activity of someone aiming to put a stop to his plan altogether.
Indeed. Lady Darklow, what would be the reason for such behavior?
I think she might be a daughter of his or something, because we saw her and Spella in one picture. They might be sisters. I leave that to you, Mr. Wright. Based on what we have seen in this trial, the defense believes Miss Darklow's reason for covering up her actions tonight can only be attributed to one thing. This plan was handed down by the storyteller himself. And Miss Darklow was definitely aiming to put a wrench in it, but why? She tried to protect the storyteller? Or just sabotage the plan? Probably the first option. Could it have been that she was trying to protect the storyteller?
Protect?
Probably I'm wrong since the music didn't stop. Exactly. That explains why she looked up Miss Kira, the big bad scary witch in the belfry.
Objection.
No? Okay. Please think a little harder, Mr. Wright. Miss Darklow was carrying Miss Cantabella to the bell tower so that she could appear as the Great Witch Bezella. Following that, the storyteller perished. I do not believe anything about her actions tonight indicate an intention to protect. That's right. It is my belief that this was an act of betrayal. Huh? Betrayal, of course. I should have seen that one a mile ago. The storyteller used the Great Witch Bezella to take his own life. Instructions to carry out the plan were given to Miss Kira. However, Miss Darklow planned to intervene and change the scenario at the very last minute. She planned to do so by changing the identity of the Great Witch from Miss Kira to Miss Cantabella, thus bringing us to our current situation, Miss Cantabella on trial for the murder of her father at the hands of Bezella. You, Miss Darklow, seem to harbor a rather strong hatred for the storyteller, if I am not mistaken. A hatred, you say? Yes, I suppose you could call it that. That's right. Behold, my revenge.
Did you say revenge?
Miss Darklow, will you please tell the court of your plan for revenge? if you insist. The High Inquisitor, and also the Great Witch. Long have I donned those two masks, one as Labyrinthia's protector, the other its harbinger of destruction. In other words, I was merely meant to serve him. And yet, he sought to selfishly pen the ending of the story under his own terms. He did not care enough about me, or any of the townspeople, to allow us the dignity of deciding our own fate. Indeed, what we witnessed tonight was the cowardly act of a man looking for an easy way to end that which he could not properly finish. He cared for no one but himself, hence this sudden sham of an ending. And for that, I will never forgive him. What do you mean by sham of an ending? The Great Witch Bezella is to summon a dragon of fire and end the life of the creator. She will then be put on trial and judged, thus heralding a period of peace and prosperity for all of Labyrinthia. Such is the ending written for this town and its people. It is not an ending I oppose in principle. Who would not wish a happy ending for their own people? However, the problem lies in Bezella's identity. Bezella's identity? As you know, he assigned the role of the Great Witch to this girl beside me. But you are saying that was a falsehood, is that correct? I knew Bezella's true identity. It is not something I could ever forget. That is why I went to the bell tower, and it is why I took the accused there. I did it to ensure the true witch, foretold in the story, was given the judgment she was due.
The true witch? You don't mean...
Yes, I speak of none other than Spella Cantabella.
Objection!
Miss Darklow, there is a glaring contradiction in your statement. And what would that be? It's supposedly common knowledge that Bezella is capable of using all magic. However, that is far from the truth. Magic does not actually exist in this town. It was all one giant illusion created by the Shades. Therefore, the Great Witch Bezella cannot exist either. Layton doesn't seem to really agree with my line here. You fool. Defender, you really don't have a clue, do you?
But wait, just a minute now. Is the defense not correct? Defender, I mean. If magic does not exist, then it goes without saying that witches do not exist either. And that would include the Great Witch, would it not?
That's right. They've been lying to us this whole time. Dastards. Bezella isn't real.
Objection!
Mr. Wright, there is a fundamental mistake in your argument. What do you mean? I have but one simple question. What exactly is Bezella? Huh? Well, she's supposed to be the head of all witches? Allow me to reword the question. The Great Witch Bezella is the root of all disaster within Labyrinthia. Knowing that, what specific disaster might she have been the root of? That would be a great fire? I just thought of something. We've been hearing Bezella's name left and right since we got here, but not once has the real Bezella shown up in person. Indeed, Miss Faye, Bezella herself has been virtually absent from the story thus far. But Inquisitor, did she not claim the life of the storyteller tonight? It would appear so, Your Honor. However, there is just one more thing. Consider this. Which particular story is every citizen of Labyrinthia most familiar with? Well, that would have to be the legendary fire, right? Precisely. Surely you're not serious. As the name implies, that is but a mere legend. No one knows for certain if it occurred. So they say, but the reality is there are still traces of that terrible fire within the town today. The professor's right. We've even seen some of it up close and personal. Hey, yeah, at the Great Archive. You are indeed correct, Inquisitor. Littered throughout the town are burnt remnants of fire most fierce. However, no one can say for certain what transpired back then. You see, not a soul saw what actually happened. Let me see if I have this straight. There's an entire town full of people and no one saw what happened? Correct. Except for one particular person. What? There is one person who saw everything. I'm speaking, of course, of the one responsible for the fire itself. The Great Witch Bezella. Apparently it's a Spella. Yes. I remember it. All of it. Espella, what are you saying? When I close my eyes, I can picture it so vividly. The awful sight of the flames engulfing everything they touched. The scorching heat on my skin. The smell of burning cinder all around me. The large plumes of fire. Of black smoke. The warm tears streaming down my face. I remember it all. What you are recalling now is the moment the Great Witch Bezella destroyed our town. Well, it appears my role here is finished. As for the rest, I leave it in your capable hands, Inquisitor. Huh? We just let her go? Darkglow, she just vanished into thin air. What kind of magic is this? And no one even... What? Is Judge alright with that? She's right. These memories are proof that I am Bezella. But, Espella! Mr. Wright, remember, if you will, what I said at the beginning of this trial. I came here to prove that Espella Cantabella is in reality the Great Witch Bezella. Right. There is still one more thing I wish to present to the court. I would now allow to call the final witness to the stand. The final witness?
Hold it!
What? You mean The storyteller, right? It would appear he has arrived. Storyteller himself! Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I give you this trial's final witness. The storyteller. Nola? What are you doing? Stop. You're being very naughty. Go the hell out of here. Sorry. And just like that, he appeared. The man who died not hours before. And the victim of this very trial, the storyteller himself. The professor sure chose one heck of a final witness. Morning is drawing closer and closer. How this trial will end is anyone's guess. To be continued. Are you kidding me? No. I need to know right now. But it's been a long part. Oh, damn it. Are we finally moving to the final moment of this trial? Damn, I wish, because everything was stretching for too long. But that's pretty much every Ace Attorney game for you. So yeah. I hope not sure. We may not really unravel the truth finally in the end of the in the next part, but we'll see. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next part. Bye.